And she knows what? All the prayers. Can I put
Natural, right? So the color is natural. Oh, no. Oh my God. Ready, huh? Yes. Natural.
Where is she? Então, here is the friends.
More.
I don't know if she has Hershey's too.
The one she gave to me.
Oh.
Beautiful color.
Yeah.
Because the friends you sent here, ela vai sentar aqui, né? E as friends estão aqui.
More. If you want to sit here as well, you can sit here.
Ah, bom, please.
I think the Junko is gonna sit here, and maybe you sit here with Amaras.
You can sit here.
Amaras mom. Can sit here. Side by
Viu?
View. View is like see. Oh, see. Yeah. View is like, oh, you know, view. View is like see. Everything works. He's not there yet, right?
Você vai sentar aqui. E ela senta aqui. Você aqui, ela senta aqui. Você vai pisar. É bom ver que for.
No, just by myself today because of Karen.
Just you today.
Just me. I'm so Hi, oh my goodness, how are you? I'm fine, you? Your beautiful babies that I see sometimes. Yeah, they are growing. This one here. Oh, wait, how old? Oh my god. Too fast. You know, you seem like you have more energy than I would imagine I would have from two babies. I have daycare, that's why I have energy. Because otherwise, it was 24 hours per day, it's impossible. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I was out. No, I thought we talked about Greenland today, but I need a fire. It's already it's a hole in between. It's not easy to
Viu?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our monthly appreciation and ancestral service. We are here today to express our gratitude to God and Meixo Sama for the protection, help, and countless blessings we have received this past month, and to ask permission to serve the divine plan for this coming month. Let us begin our monthly service with the presentation of offerings to God. Please pray along silently while we have the opening prayer to God.
Great God of light, with our deepest respect, we have gathered here at the Miroku Association for our monthly appreciation and ancestor service. We humbly offer you our prayers of praise, appreciation for protection, help, and the countless blessings we have received this past month, and to ask for permission, guidance, and inspiration to serve in your divine work of the construction of paradise on earth. Please accept the materialization of our gratitude through our in-person and virtual presence, our monetary offerings, and by guiding our relatives and friends. Please give us the strength and wisdom to practice this year's guidelines in our everyday life. Based on the glorious and extraordinary teachings and attitudes of Meishu Sama, let us each develop within ourselves a faith that is both unwavering and altruistic. We aspire to fulfill our missions by wholeheartedly dedicating ourselves to the salvation of humanity and the construction of paradise on earth. May we receive greater light and spiritual strength to realize Meishu Sama's ideals in our hearts, our homes, in our communities, so we become effective instruments of your divine light to bring happiness to everyone around us. May the new age of happiness and everlasting peace, where love, goodwill, and understanding prevail, soon become a reality.
Let us take this moment to pray along silently for the departed souls of all ancestors, while specifically honoring the ancestors of members of our Miracle Association, who have been enshrined at the sacred grounds, the anniversary of their passing being in the month of March. Let us pray as we listen to their names being invoked.
George William Storrs, Barry Elliott Sackerdorf, Eric Alden Cross, Julia Ray Sundarahitananda, Maria da Conceição Ribeiro Teixeira, Ray Anthony Johnson, Victoria Ostrom, Juramir Guaraciaba Antunes dos Santos, Gasparina Ferreira Moreira, Mariane Carvalho Moreira, Eric Cunningham de Souza, Kaoru Miyazaki, Yaechi Miyazaki, Sequeira João Lourenço, Domingo Garces Carrino, Nadir Crespo, Trin Chung Num, Valdemar Leite Andrade Filho, Ernest Thomas Angrisani, Gloria Escobar, Rosa Luisa da Silva, Silvio Silvério Silver, Ernestina Barsante dos Santos, Ivan Garzon, Samuel Burkett, Samuel Loki Burkett, Juvenal de Holanda Vasconcelos, Dolores Lorena, Carmen da Silva Brandão Martinelli, Isidoro Santos Rodrigues, Nadir Rosolem Bretas, Yoriko Hayashida Yamaguchi, Tsuruyo Yoshimoto, Bruno de Marti, Carolina Sardinha dos Santos, Manuel Castro de Matos, Maria do Carmo Bonfim de Melo, Sebastião Tobias de Moraes, Chris Gerard, Sol Mendes de Vito, Dora Randu Durand, and Paul James Abler.
Please stand and join us for the Amatunarito, the prayer of heaven, followed by the miracle prayer and prayer for ancestors.
Taka amaharani kamuzumarimasu.
Amuro ni kamuro mino mikoto mochite sume mi oya kamu izanagi no mikoto tsukushi no himuka no tachihana no ono no ahagi harani miso ni harai kamo toki ni narimaseru harai dono o kami tachi moro moro no waga goto tsumikegare o harai tamae kiyome tamae to maosu koto no yoshi o amasu kami kuritsu kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomo ni ame no fuji koma no mimi furitatete kikoshi meseto kashikomi kashikomi no maosu
Miroku o mikami
Mabori tamae saki hae tamae Miroku o mikami Mabori tamae saki hae tamae
Oshie mi oya no shino kami
守たまえ、先生えたまえ。教えみろや主の神、守りたまえ、先生えたまえ。
Kam nagara
Tamashi
tamashi
haemase.
haemase.
Kam
Kam
nagara
nagara
tamashi
tamashi
haemase.
Miroku prayer. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life.
In accordance with your divine will, though the age of night draws to an end, your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all of humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan, and for the privilege of chanting and receiving joy. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Yeshu Sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan.
Great God of light, bless and protect the souls of our loved ones,
whose journey here on earth is over. And as they continue on, great God, encircled in your light, may they be raised to ever finer and higher states of true eternal grace.
Great God of light, bless and protect us all. Radiate our souls with your divine light,
so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan.
Please be seated. We will now receive group jury.
May God and may Sama bless you. Thank you.
Jury is now concluded. Let us listen to Meishu Sama's teaching.
Live with a Daijo attitude. What is good from the Daijo point of view may be bad from the Shoujo perspective, and vice versa. It seems that quite a few of our members tend to forget this essential fact. I would like those who have done so to reflect on and correct their errors. Quite simply, a Daijo point of view looks at anything in its broader aspects. For instance, a thing that someone may undertake while firmly believing it is good might prove to be a hindrance to the furthering of our teachings, contrary to expectations. And as such individuals are apt to depend on their own ability to overestimate human power and to forget God's power, the most important of all, without realizing it. Surely, many of you can personally recall that kind of experience. I hear my followers sometimes wondering aloud why a member who works earnestly to advance our work often fails to be successful. A shoujo attitude might be the reason for their lack of success. Someone with a shoujo attitude tends to be formal and rigid. This naturally prevents others from being drawn to her or him, and as a result, impedes the expansion of our movement to spread God's divine light. Moreover, the tendency of a shoujo person to be biased or lacking in common sense, with speech and actions that are often eccentric, is an even greater problem. When sensible individuals meet this kind of member, they are inclined to think of our movement as inferior or superstitious and look down on us. I want our members to be careful on this point. Conversely, there are some members who appear not to be working very earnestly, and yet they are quite successful in helping expand our work. This is because they have accepted and are living with a Daijo attitude. Another characteristic of people with a shoujo attitude is that many are likely to categorize others as being good or evil. It is a terrible mistake to pass judgment on the character of others, either way. No one but God knows the quality of a person, so it is presumptuous for any of us to judge it. Nothing could be as great a blasphemy towards God as that. Indeed, it is the most impious of acts. Such individuals are dogmatic and arrogant, lacking in the ability to command love and respect. Their efforts to advance our work cannot succeed, and worse, might even cause problems. Japan, at the time of World War II, was a good example of shoujo thinking. Everything happens for a reason, and the reason the war turned out as it did can be applied to many things, irrespective of their size or scope. It is true that, at the time, all Japanese people believed their actions were right and for the good of everyone. But the good they believed in was good from a shoujo perspective. That is, it was based on a self-love and interest only in the prosperity and happiness of Japan at the sacrifice of other countries. Japan was defeated as a result of this belief. In my article, A Citizen of the World, I tried to convey the same idea, that only good from the Daijo perspective, the desire for good for all the world, can be true goodness. Had this type of consciousness pervaded Japan, that level of aggression could not have taken place and Japan would not have experienced such misery. Instead, it would have enjoyed peace and would eventually have won the love and respect of the rest of the world. In other words, there are two kinds of love, God's love and human love. God's love is Daijo love, which impartially and limitlessly includes all humanity, while human love is Shoujo love, which is partial and limited in scope, such as love of self, love of one's own group or class, and love of one's own country or race. While this kind of love is not bad in itself, it is somewhat restricted, and as a result, is a less beneficial form of love than Daijo love. Once you fully understand this, you realize that you have to consider the Daijo principle in everything you do, especially if you wish to follow this spiritual path. You should convey the teachings to others while keeping the universal love of God within your heart. This will certainly bring good results to you. So always do your best to live with God's will as your own, radiating a universal love that does not discriminate, but that relates to others as your equal. Then everyone will feel good toward you, will naturally be drawn to you, and be happy to associate with you. Thus, your effort to help expand our mission and God's divine light will positively succeed.
We will now have the Ohikari Sacred Focal Point presentation to Kari Ochi.
Congratulations.
We will now have greetings from Reverend Romilson Cândido.
Good morning. point. First of all, congratulations to our new member, Karen Ouchi. Congratulations. Yeah, from now on, you have this new mission of sharing the light of Joray to as many people as possible. You know, the same benefit you had with Joray, you can now share that with many people. It's a beautiful thing. I never forget when I received my ohikari a couple of years ago. I was 16. Well, today I'm 24, let me see. But anyway, it was a couple of years ago, and it was so wonderful. But one thing I remember that, when I received my ohikari, I knew the power of Joray by watching and experiencing through receiving it. It was beautiful. When somebody, they raised their hands and I was there receiving that light, I felt it. And when I saw some people experiencing also changes, it was nice to see. I was so young, but to believe that I would be able to do the same, I would say that, let me put it like this, my Joray, will that really work? When somebody sits in front of me and asking for light and blessings, would that work? I was always thinking, maybe it won't. And I remember when I would go to a Joray center like this, and I was sitting, expecting people to come and receive Joray, when I would see somebody like a little bit sick or really needing Joray, I would always ask someone else to help, because I couldn't believe that my Joray would be enough. Until one day the minister asked me to go to a clinic, not to the hospital, it was a small clinic where there was this person suffering with kidney stones, pain, and he was suffering a lot. And I decided I go there. So I went to the clinic, and I saw this man was about 35 years of age, and he was rolling down the bed, filled with pain, and I saw him, and I asked permission to give him Joray, and he was really, I could feel how painful that was for him, and I started to give Joray, and he asked me to stop after 10 minutes. He said, please stop. I gotta go to the bathroom. I said, okay. I didn't know. So he went there, and I heard him saying, oh my God. And I went there to see, is everything okay? He said, it came out. The stone came out. I said, okay. And then he asked me, can you continue doing that? I said, oh, yeah, of course. Then I continue. And after that, I started to feel like, well, this is nice. I think it's working. Huh? And I believe, Karen, today you will have your chance to tell your first Joray, and you will be able to have your own experience, many. And I know many people here, members who give Joray, have your own experiences that you can even share with them later. Congratulations, Karen, one more time. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you all very much for helping and serving the divine work, doing all we can to spread the teachings of Meishu Sama. Our Joray movement, it's an amazing opportunity that we can share many things to other people. We don't only have Joray, but we do have these three pillars of salvation Meishu Sama shared: the Joray, the nature farming, and the beauty, the art. Right here, we share the light of Jorei, and we help people that are suffering physically or mentally with the light of Jorei. But also we encourage people to always try to be more natural, respecting nature and eating healthy, and try to really go more for natural foods. And this is something so important that Meishu Sama advocated, the importance of nature farming. And another thing is the importance of art in our lives. So not only we live with the religious aspect or the nature farming, but the art that really helps to transform and change lives. One thing that I loved about our Jorei movement was how much importance I noticed they put into art. As a musician at that time, professional musician, I was very into the organization because of so many art activities they had. But I started to see how people can change once they begin to be more connected with nature and with art. But sometimes it's important for us to go for the spiritual aspect so that they can understand what's really happening in our lives, what can really transform our lives. So that's where Jorei comes in. Many people, they come here when they really don't know what to do, but how to detach from problems and situations. And after they come here and they sit down and they receive Jorei, and they begin to see things more clear. Usually after 10 minutes of Jorei, I would say that's the time when you begin to relax, and you go to that tranquil state, and some people even fall asleep. After that, they begin to really understand what's really happening inside. Many times, when you receive Jorei, you can feel that really the light of God is manifesting, is working through you. At the same time, there are cases when people come, they receive Jorei, and they say, I didn't feel anything. But they go home, and then something happens, and they notice changes, and they usually come back. So I would like you to always try to continue with Jorei and practicing nature farming. That means your eating habits, try to go more for the organic or something more natural that will be good for your physical, and also enjoy the art. Especially here in New York City, there are so many things you can go and see, many parks and museums, so that you can enjoy the beauty. In our organization, we do have something here special. We do have Ikebana classes. You know, when you see, if you look around the Jorei Center, you always see some beautiful flower arrangings that can really bring a lot of light to your soul, to your spirit. So, if you really want to start, you can begin by making small flower arrangements or taking Ikebana classes. So this is another way that you can begin to work with the art. So, as someone who really appreciates art, you know how important it is to change everything in our lives through art. Last month, I spoke about the importance of being more positive. Be someone who really sees things in a positive way. To transform whatever is negative into positive. And to wake up in the morning with a smile
as much as you can. And I even told you that in my case, my wife knows this. When I wake up, I'm a little grumpy. I'm always like not in a good mood in the morning. But I try do my best to be good morning like that. Even if it looks fake but it's good to try. It helps. As you do this, things begin to transform in your life. Our aura, remember aura? That everyone have an aura that is like your spiritual clothing of your spirit. So when you begin your life in a positive way, like when you wake up with your right foot, like your pé direito, when you positive, you're smiling and we talking to people, this aura begins to expand. And that means during your whole day, everything will be much better, will be great. When you try that, when you wake up in the morning, you don't talk to anybody, or you very, upset. Your life started to go in a way that is no good. So that's why be positive is the best way to go. So I'd like to ask you to do your best and try that. Always be positive. If somebody comes and tell you something that is negative, of course you listen, but you always try to bring positive things into your life. It's your right to do that. You don't have to live your life with suffering. You can choose to be happy. Because paradise actually lies within each one of us. Okay. I understand that there are many things happening in our lives, in people's lives, but you can always find happiness within yourself, in your heart, and you begin with a smile. There's nothing better than this. Scientifically, actually, the more you laugh and smile, the better it is for your heart. So you try that. So before we finish, I would like to also say congratulations to our new members from Atlanta, Georgia. We have 2 new members, which is Maria Aparecida Moshin and Alina Botelho. They also received your Hikari last Tuesday. I went to Atlanta, Georgia, and I had a meeting with the members over there. It's a group of young members, and they are doing a terrific, nice job at these Georgia Tech in the WeWork facility. So it's a lot of young folks, and I was happy to be there with all those nice, dedicated people. I felt very young myself, like in my 20s, and it was very nice to be there because they have great ideas and really strong desire to expand. So they have their own way of communicating, websites and many things they do. And they are even invite people to work with them, and those who really wants to do some work, not only in person, but also online. They have this Joe Ray Live activity that they will be sharing with you so that you can also participate with them. I'd like to thank all those members for their dedication. Also, I'd like to thank very much these members from New Jersey that are getting together once a month online. So they are exchanging faith, experiences, and Reverend Michael Cherney is working with them. Thank you very much. And also those members from Connecticut, they are doing a great job. Thank you very much. They are meeting also once a month at the Zen Buddhist Temple. Anne Marie, thank you very much. With Del and David, they all got together and they are doing this Jorei work. So people come, they receive Jorei, they listen to some testimonies. It's a great work you're doing over there too. Today, we just had a prayer for our ancestors. And today was the first time that we put the name of our ancestors, and we invoke the names of our ancestors. They are enshrined at the sacred grounds. So if you would like to have the names of your ancestors enshrined, please let me know. Do the enshrinement so that the name of your ancestor can go to the sacred grounds in Japan and also the Guarapiranga sacred grounds. So that's why some people, they may ask, where did those numbers come from? So they come from the Sorei Saishi. That's what we do. So every month, some of our ancestors have an anniversary of passing to the spiritual realm. So we celebrate their birth in the spiritual realm. So the day of their passing. So that's why we put those names over there. And also, today I prayed in front of the altar. If you heard, we had this earthquake that reached many people. I believe was Chile and Argentina and I think Venezuela, Mexico. So we pray for those souls. And also we pray for world peace so that we can continue looking for a better world. So with this, I would like to thank you all very much and to ask you after this service that we can exchange Jorei. We can have this moment that we can have Jorei with each other. So thank you all very much for your dedication and congratulations for this day. Thank you. Thank you.
This concludes our service today. Thank you very much for joining us. We wish you a blessed day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good day,
Só um minutinho, só um minutinho.